So good morning everyone. Today we'll start with the effect of power factor on the recovery voltage. Now, when the circuit breaker is moving from close to the open position, when the circuit breaker is moving from the closed to the open position, then in that very case, our open to the closed status, from the close to the open position or the open to the closed status, in that very case, there is the arcing between the contacts accomplished by the substantial power loss. So, arcing is there with the substantial power loss. Now, while considering the opening and closing duty of circuit breaker, we have to keep in mind that the current through and voltage across the circuit breaker is alternating in nature. Current through and the voltage across the circuit breaker is alternating in nature. Hence, the current can have a variety of phase relationships between the voltage. So, current can have different phase relationships with the voltage. So it has the variety of phase relationship between the voltage depending upon the power factor of the circuit, which depends upon the cos phi, power factor of the circuit. And when the circuit breaker is called upon to interrupt the load, the power factor, when the circuit breaker is called upon to interrupt the load, then the power factor may be typically 0.8 lagging. It may be typically 0.8 lagging, and when the interrupting short circuit current, the power factor is when interrupting the short circuit current. When interrupting the short circuit current, then in that very case the power factor is almost zero. The power factor is almost zero lagging. Zero lagging means that we have the voltage here and we have the current here. So the current is lagging the voltage, so it is zero lagging. And when interrupting long unloaded lines or the magnetizing current of the transformer, when interrupting long unloaded lines or magnetizing current of the transformer, then in that very case the power factor will be close to zero leading. Zero leading means that we have the current here and we have the voltage here. So in case of long unloaded lines and current transformers, so it can be zero leading or zero lagging. So every interruption job imposes a different kind of stress on the circuit breaker, and because of the instantaneous supply at the instant of current 0 is different. Now, we will discuss the different cases uh, that how it affects. Now, let us suppose. Now, let us take the different cases. Now, suppose in this you will see that the power factor, we have the unity power factor, and the voltage and the current are in phase in this case, and it can be seen from the figure that the instantaneous value of the supply voltage at the instant of the 0 crossing here of the current wave is actually 0. The voltage is also 0 in that very case. So the transient recovery voltage is also 0. So in this case, the transient recovery voltage it is also 0 because they are in phase, and the contact gap find it easy to recover and withstand the steady state voltage which follows in the due course of time. So this is actually, you can say that this is very happy situation from the standpoint of the circuit breaker. Now let us take the case second, where the load power factor in this case is 0.8 lagging. R5 you can have 36 point, there's 8, 6 as shown here. Now the supply voltage at the 0 crossing instant, you will see that at the 0 crossing instant, the supply voltage in this case is Vm sine of omega t. So Vm sine of phi. So this is seen by the LC circuit as the sudden application of what? Step voltage. Seen by the LC circuit, seen by LC circuit is actually the circuit model of this line. So seen by the LC circuit as sudden application of step voltage, sudden application of step voltage of Vm sine of phi. Now case second. Now let us consider the case third. Now in the case third, you will see that no load magnetizing current of the transformer is shown. No load magnetizing current, the transformer is open circuited, and the no load magnetizing current of the transformer is shown in this case, and the current is quite small in the magnitude as compared to the voltage. The current is small in magnitude as compared to the voltage, as compared to the full load current. So magnitude wise, it is not a problem to interrupt such a current. However, the magnetizing current has a highly lagging power factor angle. You will see that in this case, the current is lagging the voltage. It has highly lagging power factor angle. Hence, at the instant of the current 0, you will see the instantaneous value of the supply is almost equal to the peak of the voltage wave. So this is seen as the sudden application of the step voltage Vm, seen by the circuit as the sudden application of step voltage Vm of magnitude Vm, and this application of step voltage evokes its own transient response from the circuit, causes a severe, so it has the transient response from the circuit, and what it does, it causes the severe restriking transient. severe re-striking transient and making it difficult, making the recovery of circuit breaker difficult. So this is it. Now this is this one. Now in this case, now the second case is that the situation during the interruption of the charging current of the long unloaded line. So you will see that here we will have the unloaded line and interruption of the long unloaded line. Now what happens during this case? It is a situation during the interruption of charging current of long unloaded line. When the unloaded line is there, only charging current will flow, which take care of the capacitance. So you can say that interruption of charging current of long unloaded line. Interruption of charging current of the large unloading line, and in this case the current leads, because it is a charging current, so in this case the current leads the voltage by almost an angle of 90 degree. And when at the moment of the current zero, you will see at the moment of the current zero here, the instantaneous value of supply voltage is almost the full value of the peak voltage, and this is, as in the previous case, this is bound to cause the severe re-striking transient. So severe re-striking transient is there in this case also. So we'll have the severe re-striking transient also in this case. Now consider the another case in which the fault is actually, here we have the fault. It is very near the circuit breaker terminal is shown. The fault is very near to the circuit breaker terminal, and since only impedance, you can see the fault is very near to the circuit breaker terminal, and the only impedance in this case limiting the current is the transmission line and internal impedance of the generator. So the impedance is only the impedance of the transmission line, and we will have the internal impedance of the generator, let it be XS and XL. So resistance is very less in this case. So the current lags the voltage by a large angle. So in this case, because we neglect the inductance, we neglect the resistance due to the fact that that this is very near to the fault is very near to the circuit breaker, and the only impedance we will have the transmission line and generator impedance, and the current lags the voltage by an angle of 90 degree. So this situation is here. If you see, current lags the voltage by a very large angle, and in this case we have assumed that DC offset in the fault current have died down by the time interruption takes place. So we have assumed that the DC offset dies down. During the time interruption takes place. Now, so the instantaneous value of supply voltage at the instant of current zero, if you see, at the instant of the current zero is equal to the peak value of the system voltage as in the previous case, and making the recovery difficult as we have explained. So recovery is also difficult in this case. So what we can do, we can summarize that larger the phase angle of the current being interrupted, the higher be the larger be the phase angle. So what we get conclusion, larger be the phase angle of current being interrupted, higher will be the instantaneous value of supply voltage. Higher will be the instantaneous value of the supply voltage at the instant of current zero. So this will cause the higher peak of recovery voltage, and more difficult will be the recovery of the circuit breaker contact gap. So it will cause the higher peak of the recovery voltage, and more difficult will be the recovery of circuit breaker. Now we will discuss the effect on first pole to clear. We will discuss the effect of first pole to clear. Now in the three-phase system, the natural current zero instant in each phase does not occur at the simultaneously. So these instants are shifted in time from each other because of very nature of the three-phase system, as you know, the fact that these are 120 degree apart. So it is therefore natural that one of the poles of the three-phase circuit will clear the fault earlier than the other. So one will clear one pole will clear earlier than other because of due to the three-phase system. Now, subsequent to the fault, the phase A pole of the breaker is first to clear. As you show that the phase A is first to clear, and the effect on the first pole to clear can be studied with the help of this phasor diagram. So it can be studied with the help of this phasor diagram. So from this phasor diagram, you will see that the first pole to clear will be subjected to the recovery voltage of 1.5 times the line to neutral voltage. That is, VA is the line to neutral voltage. So the first pole to clear will be subjected. First pole to clear will be subjected to the recovery voltage of 1.5 times the line to neutral voltage, let it be A. And in case the system is ungrounded, for an ungrounded system in this case. Now, if the system is grounded, then in that very case, the system, if the system neutral is grounded, then in that very case, the recovery voltage across the pole is limited to the line to neutral voltage as shown here. So this is how it can be done. Now, next is the circuit breaker ratings. So circuit breaker ratings. Now in circuit breaker, it is a critical component of the power system. As you know, the reliability of circuit breaker actually, it depends on how far we are able to match the various ratings of the circuit breaker with the operating conditions to which it will be exposed during the lifetime. So one has to understand that that all the circuit breaker ratings before applying the it to the power system. So you must have the idea of that ratings before we can you can apply it to the power system. Now, first is the rated voltage. We can discuss it one by one. So what is the rated voltage? So what is the rated voltage? It is the maximum voltage of the circuit breaker is the highest. It is, you can say, now the rated voltage. So rated maximum voltage of the circuit breaker, you can say that the rated maximum voltage of circuit breaker it is actually the highest RMS phase to phase voltage highest RMS voltage which is phase to phase for which the circuit breaker is designed. For which the circuit breaker is designed and is the upper limit for its operation. You can say it's an upper limit for its operation. Now the second is the rated continuous current. So the rated continuous current of the circuit breaker is the established limit of current in RMS amperes at the, it is the limit of the current, established limit of the current in RMS at rated power frequency that it shall be required to carry continuously. It shall be required to carry continuously without exceeding specified temperature limits, specified the temperature limits which may be different for different parts like insulation, contacts and the metal enclosures. So this is the rated continuous current. The third one is the rated MVA. So what is the rated MVA? The product of pre-fault circuit breaker voltage and post fault circuit breaker current. And post fault circuit breaker current, this is, and it is expressed on three-phase basis as, on three-phase basis it is expressed by multiplying it by root 3. So root 3 pre-fault line to line voltage and post fault current, that is the line current. Now next is the making capacity. We have the rated voltage, we have the rated continuous current, and we have the rated MVA. 3 we have discussed. So next is the making capacity. Now what is making capacity? It is basically specified in terms of peak value of the first current wave that flows. You can say that it is the peak value of the first current wave that flows peak value of first current wave that flows immediately after the circuit breaker contacts, that flows immediately after circuit breaker contacts close to the fault. So this is it. Now switching on to fault can be analyzed by using this circuit. It can be analyzed by using the circuit, RL circuit model as shown here. Now in this figure what you see, the fault current can be found out by solving the series network as a function of switching angle, which is controlled by this alpha. So the fault current can be found by solving the series network. So fault current can be found by solving the series network as a function of switching angle controlled by alpha. Controlled by switching angle, and that is alpha. Now if we solve this model, the circuit, this is the first circuit model to find the fault current. If we solve this model, then definitely we are getting this equation. The fault current is given by Vm R square plus omega square L square sine of omega t plus alpha minus 5 minus Vm divided by same value, let it be star, into sine of alpha minus 5 E minus t by tau. So where tau is the time constant of the RL circuit. Now where This tau is the time constant of the RL circuit given by L divided by R, and phi is the phase angle of the circuit, and this phase angle phi is given by tan inverse omega L by R. Now, so this is graphically, this is explained with this. Now from this what we observe, it actually shows the peak value of the transient current. This shows the peak value of the transient current a short time after switching the fault, and can reach a value double the peak value of the steady state fault. If the peak, which is 100 in this case, you will see that it will reach the double, because the initially the steady state value was 100 in that very case. Such a high value of 200% of the fault current is to be made by the circuit breaker without any damage to the contact that we have to take into consideration. In case of breaking duty, by the time the fault is detected by the protective relay and trip coil of the circuit breaker is energized, a number of power cycles elapses and the fault current to be broken becomes less than the worst case making current. So the making current is more than the breaking current, and hence the making duty of circuit breaker is more severe than the breaking duty. So one more time we discuss what happens, that this is the first time and we are interrupting the fault not at this time, because you will see that when we energize the trip coil of the circuit breaker, a number of power frequency cycles has elapsed and the fault current to be broken becomes less than this making current. Initially it was the making current, that its first peak is actually the making current. So you can say that making current is more than the breaking current. Making current is more than the making current, that is breaking current, and making current is so you can say that the making current is more than the breaking current, and making duty of the circuit breaker is more severe. So making duty of the circuit breaker is severe than the breaking duty. So it is severe than the breaking duty. Now let us assume the circuit breaker can successfully make the maximum value reached by the fault current in the first cycle after the fault takes place, and the making capacity of circuit breaker corresponds to this, and let it be represented by Kp. And in order that the circuit breaker should be successfully able to switch on to the fault, to the rated short circuit making capacity is expected to be twice the peak value of the AC component of rated breaking current. So we can write the rated making current is equals to two times peak value of AC component of rated breaking current. Rated breaking current. Are you taken to take RMS, then 2√2 or 2.828 in terms of RMS. However, in practice, instead of expecting the peak of the making current to be equal to twice the peak of steady state fault current, the more pragmatic approach has been followed, and in this case the rated making current is equals to 1.8 times the RMS breaking current. Rated RMS braking current, which is equals to 2.5. Now this is about the making capacity. Now we can discuss the braking capacity. Now what is the braking capacity? So rated short circuit braking current of the circuit breaker is the maximum short circuit current that the circuit breaker is capable of breaking. Maximum short circuit current it is actually the maximum short circuit current that the circuit breaker is capable of breaking under specified conditions under specified conditions of transient recovery voltage and power frequency recovery voltage. Now, again, the rated short circuit breaker current of the circuit breaker is the maximum short circuit current that the circuit breaker is capable of breaking under the specified conditions of transient recovery voltage and power frequency recovery voltage. Now, at the instant of contact separation, the circuit breaker current had certain instantaneous value. However, this value is not designed as the braking capacity, as you have seen. This is not designed as a braking capacity and of the circuit breaker. Instead, the braking current refers to the RMS value of the current. Instead of braking current refers to the RMS value of the current during a particular cycle in which the contact separation took place. So, RMS value of the current during the particular cycle in which the contact separation took place. So, as shown in this, we will have the at the instant when the contact separation took place, it shows the waveform of the current being interrupted. Now, it can be noted that the current waveform has a decaying DC offset as shown here, superimposed on the alternating current waveform. So, now let us the instantaneous value of the current at the moment of the contact separation, let it be represented by ED at this point. And assuming that this is the maximum value of the current that the circuit breaker can successfully interrupt, and we can define the braking capacity. Now, during the cycle in which the arc is formed, the peak value of the AC current is equals to BC and the direct current component in this case is equals to AB. So the symmetrical braking capacity can be expressed as it is equals to BC divided by, it can be expressed as BC by 2, and asymmetrical braking capacity is expressed as asymmetrical braking capacity it is expressed as BC by root 2 square plus AP square. So this is the breaking capacity. Now we'll discuss the short time current rating. Now what is short time current rating? A circuit breaker may be required to carry a short circuit current for a brief duration, especially when it is clearing the fault as a part of the backup protection, and this is essential in order to maintain the selectivity between the primary and the backup protection that we have discussed in the previous lecture also. Now we have a figure. This shows the situation where the breaker A, where this is the breaker A, this breaker A has to wait for the breaker B to clear the fault. Now circuit breaker CBA backs up the circuit breaker CBB, hence it has to wait the time, that is TRA, which is greater than T1. TRA, which is greater than T1, the fault creating time of the breaker before initiating its interruption process. So T1 is actually the fault clearing time of the breaker B before initiating its interruption process. T1 is made up of relay B operating time. T1 is made up of relay B operating time plus the circuit breaker operating time. So T2 is actually made up of relay A operating time and the circuit breaker A operating time. And for maintaining the selectivity, TRA should be greater than or equals to TRB plus T circuit breaker time of B. So the circuit breaker B must be able to safely carry the short circuit current for the time T1, while the circuit breaker A must be able to safely carry the short circuit current for the time T2. Now, next is the rated frequency. The rated frequency which is also referred to as the power frequency of the circuit breaker, is the frequency at which it is designed to operate, and the standard power frequencies are 50 and 60 Hertz. Now, next is the operating time. The operating time of circuit breaker is the time elapsed between the instant when the trip circuit is energized and the instant at which the successful interruption of the current takes place. So what is the operating time? Operating time is the time elapsed between the instant when the trip is energized, trip circuit is energized, and the instant at which successful interruption takes place. So this is the time elapsed during this, that is when the trip circuit is energized and the successful interruption of the current takes place. It is also obtained, that is shown from this diagram also. Now, next is the rated operating duty. Now the rated operating duty. Now the standard operating duty of the circuit breaker is shown as shown here. We will have the brake, first is brakes. This is for the circuit breakers not rated for the rapid reclosing. It wait for the what is the sequence of operation? It wait for 15 seconds, then it will make again, it will break, wait for 3 minutes, it will make, and it will again break. For the circuit breakers which are not rated for the rapid reclosing, this is the rated operating duty. Now the second, break, wait for 0.3 seconds, then it again make, break, wait 3 minutes, then make and break, and these circuit breakers are rated for the rapid reclosing. So this is all about the rating of the circuit breaker. In the next lecture we discuss the theories of arc interruption. Thank you very much.